I want you, the person watching this video right now, to think of a time where you felt like you were the odd one out in a situation, or a time where you were in a relationship that, only felt meaningful if you brought something physical to the table. I want you to think how that felt. How did that make you feel? Hopefully not good, because that would be really weird. We have all felt used at some point. Everyone in this world has felt used at some point. We have all felt, the back end of a one sided relationship or a friendship that made us wonder why we put up with that. Like, why did we put up with all the disrespect, the being ignored, or just the straight up hate that we've received from people that we thought were, close to us? But, anyways, before we get into that, what's up, my favorite niche community? In this video, I will, dive into that feeling and how it's very possible to cut it out of your life completely, and how to actually deal with the feeling whenever you get it in just a few easy steps. When you're being used, it doesn't show up as anger, at first. It shows up as confusion. It shows up as exhaustion in a lot of ways. It's that weird little feeling that you get when something's off, but you can't really explain why. You start thinking on, past conversations that you've had, wondering if you've said something wrong to this person to make them act that way. You excuse their behavior because that's just how they are, You tell yourself that you're just being dramatic, and that's where it gets dangerous, because slowly you adjust who you are just to keep things from falling apart in the relationship or the friendship. So you start to lower expectations. You stop speaking up. Like, speak your mind, bro, on anything you want to. You let disrespect slide because confrontation feels like it might just make everything tip over and might cost you the entire relationship in a whole. You know, like, at some point, you're no longer being a friend or a partner. You're just being a resource to this person that's using you. You're being someone's little, lack of better terms, you're being their little piggy that they use instead of, being someone's actual friend or partner. And deep down, you already knew that. You're not stupid. You knew that they were using you. You felt it when they only showed up when they needed something, whenever you were always the only one checking in, when your problems were brushed off, but theirs were always so, so important in comparison every single time. Like, every single time they disappeared, once they got what they wanted, you had this exact same feeling come up in your life. I know that exact same feeling that you're feeling right now, because I grew up in like a situation where I would put in so much effort to all my friends and they would just leave me as soon as they could. And it changed me as a person. It really, really sucked. Like, whenever their problems are always so much more important, whenever that's just not true, you're hanging around the wrong people. Like, it sucks. Like, you didn't stay in this situation because you were weak or you were clueless. You stayed because being used felt less painful than just being alone. Like, being alone is not that bad. But that's not stupid of you. That's not stupid, because that is a way that a lot of people cope with things. You know, like, I'm an empathetic person. A lot of people are empathetic people. Empathetic people will always see the potential in others. And I know that because, like, I've experienced this throughout my entire life. Like, they'll see good intent in people, if that makes sense. So they they start, giving away their time. They start putting in their energy, attention. They support as much as they can, hoping one day that it will balance out in a sort of way. Like, if I put in a lot of effort into this relationship or friendship, that effort will eventually balance out because the other person will see that and try to put in effort too. But sadly, horribly, most of the time, this won't happen. It won't balance out. And, honestly, like, an easy way to, see if someone's using yourself is to ask yourself a few questions. That's what I was getting at. Ask yourself a few questions, like, as in, after spending time with them, do you feel drained or do you feel calm? Do you feel secure, or do you feel like you're always trying to prove yourself to them in some type of way? Like, whenever you stop offering something like attention, help, validation, does the relationship just all of a sudden die out? Whenever you stop giving things away, you know what I'm saying? Like, answering those questions will tell you everything you need to know about this relationship. Because whenever you uh, cut off access to like yourself, whenever you cut off access to whatever you're offering, like whenever that disappears out of their life, so will their interest. And whenever it comes to people who are using you, you know? And honestly, like, you don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. Like, you don't deserve a relationship that only exists whenever you are useful. You don't deserve to feel like some kind of like disposable person, because you're not, you know? And getting out of these relationships or friendships, I keep having to say that because it goes either way, like dating or friends, whatever. But getting out of these situations doesn't always have to be like a big, like loud, dramatic thing, because most of the time it's just pulling back in some type of way. It's matching their effort instead of overcompensating for their lack of care, if that makes sense. It's like letting people reveal who they are whenever you stop, caring about the entire relationship. Whenever you stop like picking them up and carrying everything. Like, see who they turn out to be, you know? Like, some will step up, but the thing is, most won't. And when they don't, loneliness will hit like a rock, and it sucks so bad. Like, empty space will feel so much worse because it's so unfamiliar to you. Loneliness is honest. Being used slowly, though, eats away at your own self-respect. One of those will hurt now, the other one will hurt forever, if that makes sense. Like, that weird little quiet period is where things start to change in your life. You start to rebuild standards that you had in the past. You learn about what peace actually feels like and looks like in your life. You stop mistaking attention for care. Attention is not care. That's a whole different video idea, you know. But essentially what I'm trying to say is those who actually respect you and those who actually care about you don't need convincing to stay. So, if a specific person came to mind while you're watching this video, trust that reaction. That wasn't random. You noticed that pattern a long time ago. You knew. Now you just don't have to ignore it anymore. So, if this helped, please stay. Watch some of my other videos where I cover the same topic, or if you need some other general life advice. Join my Discord if you have any specific questions you need me to make a video about, or if you just need to reach out. I'll try to respond to everyone regarding like problems they may have. My DMs are always open on TikTok. You can message me privately on Discord or publicly on Discord, because you aren't alone at all, even if you try to be. That's why I'm trying to build this whole community thing up, because I want to create some type of environment where everybody feels comfortable sharing their issues and problems, and like an area where we can talk about serious things in a way that most online communities aren't able to do. So I love y'all. Please like the video if you liked it. Leave a comment telling me what you thought about this topic. Join the Discord, follow the TikTok, do all the things. All the links and stuff will be in the description of this video. So go check them all out if you want. If not, that's fine too. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Again, I love you guys. We just hit 300 subscribers and over 1,000 followers on TikTok. I'm beyond blessed. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm yapping. Bye.